M. Night has so much guts putting his daughter front and center in this film. She's a singer, she's an actor. I mean, that dude loves nepotism. Trap is directed by M. Night Shyamalan and stars Josh Hartnett, Ariel Donahue, Selika Shyamalan, and Haley Mills. The story follows a serial killer who realizes that he becomes trapped as police officers are looking for him in the stadium while attending a huge concert with his daughter. I've become lukewarm on M. Night Shyamalan over the years. I think that he's directed some fantastic movies, but he's also directed a lot of crap as well. I don't like a lot of his recent films like Old or Knock at the Cabin or even Glass. I was really disappointed with. Going to Trap, I was curious and cautiously optimistic because of one thing, and that was Josh Hartnett in the lead. I'm a huge fan of him as an actor, and I think that he's one of these actors that should have gotten more recognition over the years, but like I don't think that he wants to be in the spotlight. I think that he likes not having a lot of attention to himself, but I think that he's great in this movie. If there's a reason to see Trap, to see this movie, I think that it's because of Josh Hartnett's performance. He really does elevate the material that he's given, and I think that he is so good here that we almost care about Cooper, even though he's this terrible person committing these monstrous acts. We sort of are on his journey because this movie is entirely from his perspective alone, and I think that Josh Hartnett is really good as Cooper, even though like the dialogue sometimes is often cheesy, it's unrealistic, and it feels a lot like a M. Night Shyamalan film. There's a lot of exposition, there's a lot of scenes that feel awkward or clumsy. It sometimes the movie feels like a comedy just because like the way things are delivered, or there's a lot of close-ups with the camera like to the person's face. And I just feel like M. Night Shyamalan should stop writing his own scripts because that's where this movie falters. It's the writing. I think that the direction is fine, but the writing is like the most absurd thing in this film. This movie's premise doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's just a ridiculous plot. And I'm gonna explain to you why it's so ridiculous, because like if you want to have like this killer being like trapped in the stadium, that's fine, but I think that it would have worked a lot better if this movie was like the manhunt for this killer, because the police, they don't have a lot to catch this person. They don't even know what the killer looks like. They just know that he might be attending this concert. So I just think that it's really not a lot to go on, and they don't have much. And so I feel like this premise really over the top, and I just think that it would have served better if like let's say there was a real manhunt on Cooper. He gets it to the stadium to hide from the cops, and then he can't get out anymore because they like decide to barricade the stadium, and they know what he looks like, but the people and the attendants, they have no clue what he looks like. I think that would have worked better than just like having him appear there with his daughter, like, and that I think would have been more interesting. Like you can still have the concert and everything, and like the police wouldn't like alert everybody that he's there, just not to create a panic. I think that would have been a more interesting premise than just like him taking his daughter to a stadium and then he's like slowly realizing that the cops are looking for him, because like I said, the cops don't have a lot to go on. I think that Josh Hartnett is really good as the villain in this movie, and I think that it's interesting that you follow like an antagonist throughout this movie. I think that it's something that can be commended, because a lot of times like you follow somebody that's misunderstood, and here Cooper, his character reminded me a little bit of Norman Bates from Psycho. Hartnett really portrayed the character well. I thought that the acting besides that was a bit weak, but I feel like sometimes M. Night Shyamalan doesn't direct his actors really all that well. I know that like sometimes he doesn't give clear directions on what he wants, and I think that can be a problem. I don't think that the children were all that great. I think that Riley was fine. I think that Ariel Donahue does a good job here, but like she wasn't like phenomenal or anything. Not like the kid from Sixth Sense or the kids from Signs who are just like incredible in those movies. But here, I think she's all right. She's good for what she has to do. The problem I have with this movie is more of a Sirika Shyamalan. I think that she isn't very good here. I can tell that she doesn't have a lot of experience acting. This is probably like one of the first roles that she's gotten, and it's problem when you have like a big role and you can't really like deliver on it, and it shows. And like the biggest problem in this movie is that she's the daughter of M Night Shyamalan. That's gonna get a lot of the attention because it's nepotism. We can see clearly that M Night wanted to give her the spotlight here for her music and for her acting ability, which I think are very minimal. I didn't really like her music here, and I didn't really appreciate her acting all that much. She's not terrible, don't get me wrong. I don't think that she's awful in this film, but she's certainly like not great. She's just okay in my opinion, and I think that it was a mistake for M Night Shyamalan to showcase her this much in this movie. And like it's clear that he wants to give her the opportunity to like show off her songs, her singing talent. And I think that really just rubs me off the wrong way, and it's gonna rub off a lot of people the wrong way. But yeah, it is what it is. I guess you have sort of to accept it. And of course, we see M Night in this movie, and like he's in most of his movies, and at least not like this huge role. He's okay in this movie, M Night. I think that he's fine for what he has to do. This movie is also too long for its own good. It goes on and goes on, it just never stops, and it jumps the shark a couple of times here near the last act, and it sort of gets even more unbelievable as the film goes on. And I think that it's too long. The film should have been like an hour 30 tops. I don't know if he was trying to be so over the top and so unbelievable, but it feels like it. It really feels like this. Sometimes it feels like a comedy. Sometimes it feels like a drama. It's just almost too unbelievable to get into the film. It really is a weird film to critique because I was entertained throughout. Like I enjoyed like the more over the top moments. I laughed a few times in this movie, especially when like Cooper has like these interactions with the people in the stadium. Yeah, he has like an interaction with a guy that works there that's selling t-shirts, and he has another interaction with a woman that was a mother, one of Riley's friends. And I thought that those moments were like really over the top, and they were not really well written. So like there are a few moments like that, and I just think that overall this movie is okay. It's not great, it's not terrible, because I was entertained throughout, but there's a lot of moments that don't make sense. There's a lot of silly moments, and there's a lot of moments that are thrilling. Like I was like sometimes on the edge of my seat waiting for what was going to happen. So like I can give M Night Shyamalan pros for that. Sometimes I was really invested in the story here, but like it's a little too unbelievable, and the premise, like I said, doesn't really make sense. And yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with this movie, and I think that it's a fine watch, like on a rainy day or something like that. You don't need to go see this in the theater unless you're like this big M Night Shyamalan fan, but it's not like a must watch. So I'd give the Trap like a C+. I think it's serviceable. I think it's watchable, but it's nothing grand. It's nothing like that you're gonna remember like a year from now. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Please let me know what you think of Trap down in comments below. Please like, please subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.
Daddy! Open the goddamn door! Isaiah!
I can't get away. I can't stop. I'll just do this one last one. Enjoy the rest of the concert.